Hi there. In this video we're going to look at factorising, part of the basic rules of algebra. Right, let's look at dividing algebraic terms. Just have a quick look at when we multiply. 9 times y. Well, we omit the times sign and we write 9y. So what about when we divide? For instance, 5 divided by y. Well, we just write that as a fraction, 5 over y. What about when we divide a letter? Here we go. P divided by 6 equals P over 6. Fractions are such a wonderful invention. Now, what about 12 divided by 2x? Well, we write it as a fraction, 12 over 2x, and then if you recall from your earlier work on fractions, we cancel it down. Now 2 is the common factor. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 2x divided by 2 is x. So it's 6 over x. Now, what about 8x divided by 4? So we write it as a fraction, 8x. Sorry about this, I'm writing quicker than my cheap laptop can cope with, over 4. Nothing new there. But then we cancel it down. Now the highest common factor here, see, I'm writing quicker again, aren't I? The highest common factor is 4. So we divide 8x by 4 to get 2x. 8 divided by 4 is 2. 8x divided by 4 is 2x. 4 divided by 4 is 1, or just 2x. Let's go through that again, because that's going to play an important part when it comes to factorisation. Question 6. 9y divided by 3. So we write it as a fraction first, 9y over 3. Probably worth a mark, or possibly worth a mark in GCSE. What's the highest common factor? Well, the highest common factor is 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so 9y divided by 3 is 3y over 1, and anything over 1 is 3y. Now we can take that one stage further. What about 3x divided by x? So here we go as a fraction, 3x over x. Now, there's no number that's a common factor, but there is a letter that's a common factor, x. Now, when you've got the same letter on top and bottom, we just cross them out, we cancel them, and we're left with 3. I'll show you that again. 5y divided by y. Write it as a fraction, 5y over y. Now, immediately, hopefully, you're seeing that the common factor is a letter. In this case, it's y. So we divide top and bottom by y, just cross them out to be left with 5. And now, for the higher level course, let's look at where we've even got powers. Now we're entering the territory of the higher paper, as I just said. 8a squared divided by a. So we write it as 8a squared over a. There's the fraction. Now what's the common factor? Well, what goes into both a and a is a. Now, so we're going to divide top and bottom by a. 8a squared divided by a is 8a. We reduce the power by 1. And a divided by a is 1, or probably some of you will skip out that stage, 8a. Right, last look at that. I'm going to combine both numbers and letters here. 15y squared divided by 5y. So here we go as a fraction, and we're on, well, hopefully we're on safe territory there. Let's look at the common factor. Well, we've got a 5 appears in both, so we're left with 3y squared over y. But we also have y as a factor, so I'm going to divide the top by y and the bottom by y, numerator and denominator, to be left with y squared divided by y is y. So 3y squared divided by y is 3y. Y divided by y, anything divided by itself is 1 or 3y. But look, if you're preparing for the foundation paper, don't worry about questions 9 and 10. Examples 9 and 10, it's 1 to 8 that we're interested in. Now, let's look at factorisation involving numbers. Right, we're going to factorise 8x plus 12. What's the highest common factor of 8x and 12? Well, it's a number. It's 4. So you write that outside a set of brackets. And now what goes inside the brackets? Divide 8x by 4. You get 2x. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and there was a plus sign in between. I'll show you that example again. 9y divided by 6. Oh, that doesn't even look like 6, does it? What's the highest common factor of 9y and 6? Well, the answer is 3. So we put 3 outside brackets, and then what goes inside? We divide each of these by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 9y divided by 3 is 3y. 6 divided by 3 is 2. And there was a minus sign separating them. And the last one of these, when we're looking at numbers, is going to be 20. Okay, doesn't matter whether it's... Let's throw in some... an a squared, see if that changes anything. What's the highest common factor of 20a squared and 15? Well, the answer is 5. Gone back to green. So we take 5 outside the brackets. 20 divided by 5 is 4, so 20a squared divided by 4 is 4a squared. 5 divided by 5 is 3. There was a minus sign separating them. Now, what about factorisation when we're looking at letters? Right, 6xy plus 5x. What's the common factor here? The common factor is our little friend, we see him so much in algebra, the letter x. So we write x outside the brackets. 6xy divided by x is 6y. 5x divided by x is 5. You cancel out the x's. What was separating them? It was a plus sign. Show you that again. Question 2. 8ab plus 7abc. Now in this case, we've actually got 2 letters that appear in both, the A and the B. So our common factor is going to be the letters A, B. What goes inside the brackets? Well, cancel them out. So we're going to get 8 and then cancel out the AB here, and we're left with 7C. I don't think you get anything as hard as that in the foundation paper. Now, what you might get, if it's a particularly tricky paper, is this. 7x squared. Oh, I hate it. I write too quickly for this darned laptop. Now, what appears in both? Well, it's the letter x. But the highest power of x is just x to the power 1, or x as I call it. So we're going to divide each of those by x. 7x squared divided by x is 7x. 5x divided by x is, well, in this case they're both the same power, we just cancel and we're left with 5. So, well, what was separating them was the plus sign. So it's x times, open brackets, 7x plus 5, close brackets. Now if you want to check, multiply out the brackets and you would get x times 6y is 6xy, x times 5 is 5x, and there's a plus sign in between, and that was your starting expression. Now, factorisation involving letters and numbers. Here we go, let's look at this one here. 8x plus, sorry about that, 8x squared plus 12x. First, we identify the number as a common factor. 4 is the highest common factor. It always has to be the highest common factor. I probably didn't mention that earlier. What letter appears in both? Well, oops, the letter x appears in both. Now, what's 8x squared divided by 4x? 8 divided by 4 is 2. X squared divided by x is x. What about 12x divided by 4x? 12 divided by 4 is 3. X divided by x, they cancel each other out. They're both the same power. So we're left with just the 3. What separated them was the plus sign. Right, one last look at this. I'm trying to make 5 minutes, believe it or not, my minimum for videos. This is way over 10. Over 10 anyway. Last one then. 12 y squared minus 9y. What appears in both? The highest common factor of 12 and 9 is 3. A y also appears in both. And now I've got to work out what goes inside the brackets. 12y squared divided by 3y is, well, 12 divided by 3 is 4. Y squared divided by y is y. What's 9 divided by 3? 3. And y divided by y, both the same power, cancel each other out, so nothing else. And what separated them was that minus sign. And that should be enough to get you through all the algebra, or the factorization part of algebra at the foundation paper. Okay, thank you for listening.